Hello, this is Brad with Copper Pools. Today we're going to talk about the particular system I have installed on my pool. Just to give you a little bit of orientation, my pool is a 15,000 gallon pool and it's located right here in Austin, Texas. What I'm going to show you are the two pieces of the EcoSmarte solution. This is the EcoSmarte Turbo model. I installed this model 13 years ago in June of 2011. So this is the actual control unit. You can see how faded it is thanks to the sun. It is facing the west, so it's going to get a lot of sun, so it's very faded, but 13 years of reliable service. On this box there are essentially two rocker switches, a rocker switch for oxidize and a rocker switch for copper ionization. The other switch is really a power switch for the electrodes of the conductors going to the electrode chamber, and that is really a low and a high setting. By default it should be on high. The only reason you would set it on low is if there is some amount of electricity that might be backfeeding into the system. So for example, if you're converting a saltwater pool to a copper pool, there is going to be some residual salt in the system. We may run it on low for a while until that salt is no longer an issue from an electrical standpoint. So this is the electrical side. Underneath this unit there are two cables. One cable goes to the actual box I'm going to show you in a moment, and the other cable goes to the electrode unit. Both of these are power conductors. For the cable going to the box, it actually, in my situation, I chose to wire it directly into the filter pump. So when the timer goes on and off inside my control unit, it powers both the filter and the EcoSmarte unit at the same time. So when the power is off to the filter pump, the power is off to the EcoSmarte. So essentially turning the filter on and off, either by hand or by schedule, that's when this is engaged. The other feature of this is that there is a circle set of lights, and that lets you know that power is running through it. The other thing I have on my system is I actually have my weekly maintenance in here, so what to do on a weekly standpoint for maintaining the pool is very simple. And the other thing I have are the ideal chemistries for the pool and what you can and cannot put in the pool water for copper. So there are only two chemicals that I add on a weekly basis to this system. The first chemical is muriatic acid. This is used to keep the pH down between 6.8 and 7.2. Copper works best at neutral 7.0, so that is the window that we have for pH in this pool. If you're in a chlorine pool, naturally it's a little higher at 7.6 is the ideal. Not in a copper pool, neutral is ideal. The only other chemical I add is a phosphate remover, and I choose C-Clear because it has a higher concentration. Literally a half a cup of this, 4 ounces, in the pool every week is all I need to clear out phosphates. I'm trying to keep phosphates below 100. Now, whether you have a chlorine pool or a salt pool, every single one of us cares about keeping phosphates down. This works in all those pools. It's fantastic. So our next step is we're going to go around to the other side and we're going to view the plumbing side of this device. So here we are on the back side of the pool. We're going to cover the plumbing side of this appliance from EcoSmarte, the copper sanitation system. So here we have the EcoSmarte electrode chamber. It consists of 4 electrical plates. On the far end of the flow, we have 2 titanium electric plates. And on the near end of the flow, we have 2 copper electrode plates. 6 days out of 7, we're going to run the titanium side to produce enormous amounts of oxygen so that the levels of dissolved oxygen in your pool water is 10 times what it is in a regular pool. We're going to run the copper electrodes 1 day a week in order to ionize the water with copper ions, which are lethal to bacteria, algae, and other microbes. And this particular light indicator here is purely a visual indicator. It gives off light, letting you know that you've connected the electrodes properly, you've connected the electrical conductors properly, so that you know when it's time to put copper in the pool, you'll see this light up when you have the switch properly selected on the EcoSmarte controller. Putting this in place takes 11 inches of pipe out on the return line. It's extremely easy to install, and it has couplers for you to remove it whenever it's necessary to clean or replace those electrodes. So that's all we have today for how my system works and what we're talking about for the EcoSmarte Turbo model. I've had, again, this system on my pool for 13 years. Highly recommend it, very reliable, and it's fantastic swimming in fresh water with literally no smell, no aroma. That fresh water is good for human beings, it's good for nature. I actually backwash the water right out onto the lawn with no harm whatsoever. In fact, today there's a frog we found in the pool swimming, so he's enjoying the fresh water as well. Again, no degradation to any pool equipment. I've got a heater in this composition of materials here. No harm to any of my pool equipment thanks to the great friendliness of this system to all mechanical and electrical items. Thanks so much for spending time with me. Talk to you soon.